of renewable energy and oil and gas industries. Now, the list goes on, but I wanted you to know some things that he is doing. And of course, this is directly part of what he's doing with the stem cell research and the stem cell company, which I was briefly telling you about. And it has done magnificent things. I think I told you about the COVID situations where they had given 6 people that were from different locations, but they all were dying of COVID. And they gave these patients to the stem cell company, and the patients are healed and thriving. Awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to let Keith Cruz, and this is, I want you to introduce yourself because you this is an amazing man too. He is a global leader that works with youth in instructing them business mechanisms to assist them, which should have been taught in school anyway, because they're not taught about business situations, which will assist them and building their own companies, making sure they're independent, teaching them about banking, writing a check. You know, a lot of young people don't even know how to write a check. So this gentleman is a global leader and he does this all over. So thank you so very much. And gentlemen, Keith?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay, Mr. Keith. Mr. Keith, nice to meet you. Seem like you got a long list of wisdom of where you have acquired so much wisdom. So I'm gonna give you a little bit about me. I'm a digital currency educator. I teach financial literacy to people around the world. I'm a product of the system. The Institution of Lower Financial Learning is what I call them. I went to from first grade to 12th grade, and then 6 years in college. I got a degree in business administration with a concentration in computer information systems. And I worked for Nortel in telecommunications industry for over 15 years as a computer engineer. But along the journey, when it comes to learning about money, the school system didn't teach me a lot about money. When I used to work with my senior engineers who was retired from the telephone environment, we used to go to lunch. All of them was contractors working in my department called Systems Maintenance and Operations and for Nortel. And most of them was white guys. They were all retired, making over $200,000 a year. They were from the telephone environment, and they was contractors making that extra money. Well, normally we go to lunch, they would talk about the stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, hedge funds, options, derivatives, and other financial instruments that are not really well known in our community. So I had to go out and learn about money myself. Okay, and I did, and I'm still learning. Okay, and now focus on digital currency and digital transactions that's going to revolutionize the world. So DeFi is here, digital currency is here. Tokenomics is here. One thing that most people don't know that I do know as a digital currency educator, I used to do traditional, I was a day trader for 10 years. And when I traded stock, okay, every once in a while I may have a stock that would double and have a stock split. But with digital currency, that happens every day with me. One thing that people don't know is that every stock on the New York Stock Exchange will soon become a digital token. It's happening right now, not gonna happen, it's happening right now. It means that a physical share of stock that you used to have to get a stock certificate to hold in your possession, that physical share of stock now has become a digital token that can be used for remittance payments in different corridors, all payment corridors all around the world. Binance, for instance, have already tokenized Microsoft stock. Okay, Binance has already tokenized MicroStrategy stock. It's a physical digital token. Binance has also tokenized Tesla stock. Okay, and there are more companies that's being tokenized while we're sitting on this platform. Last thing I'm gonna tell you is this: we're sitting at the precipice of the new New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and S&P. okay, of a digital world, digital environment. Banks around the world are closing at a rapid rate. They're literally closing down. There are articles out there by Forbes magazine that said banks will basically be out of business and extinct by the year 2034. Right now, we're currently doing over 327 billion dollars annually in the fintech arena. In cryptocurrency, we're doing 1.4 trillion dollars a day, on target to do 20 trillion dollars by in the next 5 years. And people of color, and most people in our community, are not aware of these digital instruments or the amount of money that's transforming a new financial sector that's really revolutionized the world. Last thing I'm gonna say is this right here. We just recently entered into hyperinflation. Regular inflation is 2% cost. It was in 1913. Every year, the American dollar has lost 2% value up in this past year, when we print more money than we ever have in the history of the world. And now we went from regular inflation at 2% annual cost to hyperinflation, 15% as of March this year. And hyperinflation is a beast. The American dollar, the reserve currency of the world, is in trouble. But American dollar is only worth 4 cents, less than 4 cents. And we're still printing money that has no backing. And with the fact that fiat currency all around the world has always faltered and failed. And now that beast have come to America. Now, in the Forbes article, it simply says that Lil Susie no longer work behind the counter anymore. Lil Susie is the person who will cash your checks and give you the envelope and the lollipop while you're at the bank. When you go in, Lil Susie now resides in your phone. Lil Susie now resides on your laptop. Lil Susie is now scanners when you go into Walmart, when you scan your food and you check out by yourself. Lil Susie now lives in Lowe's. Technology is displacing bodies. We went from slave ships to the cotton field, from the cotton field to the industrial revolution, to a 9 to 5, and now the digital economy, the digital financial system is here. So I understand that you have a platform that have to do with stem cell research, and you also gonna have a token that's gonna be released. Tokenomics is something that most people don't know anything about. Okay, they don't even know what tokens are. I'm pretty familiar with tokenomics, utility, the use case of different coins, and it must have a use case when we bring that coin out, and that coin must have a ecosystem built around it where it will expose that coin and increase the utility in order for it to get the proper marketing and to be received around the world. So I'm here interested in knowing about the platform that you have, what inspired you to do it, and what do you see happening in this ecosystem that you are in the process of creating.
Well, I got to tell you, that's quite impressive. Rundown of experience in the digital currency arena from a man of color, because normally we are few and far between. I have been into e-commerce since 1993. I launched my first internet company in 1993, and that's when you had to explain to people what e-commerce was what the internet was. And then in 1996, I was made an offer to help AT&T launch their EW3 platform. So I and 24 other people were instrumental in creating the AT&T brand. I had 4 states. They were all cold weather states. I'm from Alaska. So I've been called a black Eskimo most of my life. And my dad was in the military in Fairbanks, and I and 4 of my siblings were born in Fairbanks, Alaska. So one of the lessons learned in harsh weather country like Alaska, we walked to school in 40, 50 below weather. We thought everyone did. But one of the realities of life, and when you lived in a environment where if you make a mistake, you die, is that you don't ever give up. And every spring, when spring thaw out would occur, they would find people some snowbank that didn't push to get to their home or get to the store. So with that being said, I've had a lot of challenges in life because, you know, as a person of color, when you're dealing in the world of economics and now digital economics, people don't either believe or trust or think you know what you're doing until you prove them wrong. And I've had a great pleasure in proving folks wrong. So we launched in 1996, the EW3 platform. I left them in 1998 to launch my own internet publication called Alaska Netology, and we had the lieutenant governor of the state of Alaska as on our cover. He was Yoda, dressed in a Yoda outfit, and we actually, my president there was the former head of General CBS Television in Anchorage, and so we launched the magazine. And he raised $1.5 million for us to go into a publication. And then that's when I learned the hard industry of magazines is that you have to have at least 2 or 3 issues out before your advertisers pay you. So long story short, we have about 3,000 copies of magazines that are worth a lot of money now. So the lesson learned was that you don't roll out until you have a complete agenda in place. So when I went back to AT&T, one of the companies that I had launched with AT&T was now the #1 Visa MasterCard processor for AT&T Internet. So I realized that we were at a junction where people did not trust the internet. Credit card processing, credit card facilitation was very, very needed, but people were scared of hacking on the internet. So I found a group that I had worked with before, and me and the Visa MasterCard company, I took control of them, and we created a value proposition second to none when we created the first purchase and privacy assurance guarantees on the web. So back in those days, the Red Herring was the roadshow, and we presented our product category at the Red Herring in September of 1999. And we were approached by Arthur Anderson and Company, and they had been looking for a smart move to get into the internet, but being Arthur Anderson, you know, they had to be very careful. But since we were the only company at that kind that could do artificial intelligence, have a process that could, in fact, guarantee payment and processing fulfillment, Arthur Anderson made us an offer that we couldn't refuse. So we became the first and only internet company to go into their incubator. So that was October of 1999, and they arranged for us to launch at the Southeast Investment Conference in June of 2000. Now, I love Arthur Anderson. Those guys are real smart, but it took them 8 months to rebrand us. And so when we launched at the Ritz-Carlton in downtown Atlanta, the format was that you went on stage, you made your presentation, then you went to your hotel suite at the Ritz-Carlton. If they had any interest, they come knocking on your door. Within 30 minutes, we had 8 groups of VCs trotted into our room. So we knew we had knocked the ball out the park. Back in those days, you could do an internet IPO in about 7 to 8 months. So we knew we were getting ready to knock this ball out the park. And so we scheduled our first round of funding for July 23rd. I never will forget it. Arthur Anderson lined up a $500 million line of credit for us, and we were all ready to go. And July 17th, we're making the tabletop meeting calls, and no one's not answering our call. More alarmingly, they weren't answering Arthur Anderson's calls. So sure enough, if you remember back in those days, you may not be that old, but if you remember back in those days, people said, this is the internet, you don't need proper business management, you don't need proper business facilitation. And sure enough, that internet tsunami came in that last week of July and wiped all of the emerging companies off the board. Wow. Including mine. So I was the CEO of the company. I had to go down with the fish. Now, what I realized is that even the smart guys don't understand that it's all about timing. And your presentation into a viable market opportunity can be decided on how much time it took you to get to market. And if I could have rebranded my company in 6 months, I could have rebranded my company in 4 months, It took Arthur Anderson 8 months to do it. And we would already have gotten our first round of funding, and we would have survived that internet tsunami like eBay and Amazon did. But the lesson learned was timing was everything. So you fast forward, since then I own a medical device company. I've owned that Visa MasterCard company. I got into the renewable energy industry. I and a former nuclear submarine admiral, Tony Watson, we had a renewable energy company. And then I also had production companies as well. But the value proposition is that learning how the interact in each of those verticals made me realize when the blockchain became apparent that it was going to survive the scrutiny of the smart guys. I realized that because the blockchain platform was infrastructure was more secure than the internet was, that sooner or later the institutional investors in the countries would start to come in. So as early as October 2019, I started making my play for my company, Foursquare Biz. And Foursquare Biz represents the 4 largest trillion-dollar industries in the world, which is medical, banking, energy, and lifestyle fulfillment. So we decided that we would play it smart. Actually, we got introduced to the Global Wealth Summit that took place in New York in November 2019, and our inviter was Fred Newcomb, the former head of mutual funds industry. And so we got there. Dr. Shaw, who was my business partner at the Cleveland Clinic and was head of technology transfer for the Cleveland Clinic for 23 years, was also a private stem cell researcher for NIH for 16 years. So we knew that at that time, of course, the pandemic wasn't existing at that time, that we could launch with our medical coins, and we had 2 medical coins at that time, and we could combat the conventional devastating diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart attack, strokes, liver and lung, kidney disease. We had empirical evidence for a long time that stem cells could work in those areas. So what happened then was that we did our road shows. I was in Germany, I was in London, I was in Spain, I was in Belgium, and we were setting up our market makers in Australia and other places around the world. So when we went to launch our first coin, which was the STEMI coin, we would have a global market maker because, with market makers in digital currency, you got to have the combination of both if you want to see some real traction. So sure enough, we got ready to do our roadshow March of 2020, when all of a sudden I was supposed to be headed back to Germany, and the pandemic hit. And so they closed their borders. And then I was going to do the launch in New York. And the pandemic hit New York in April and May of 2020. And so we were unable to go there. Now, in New York, we had the family offices. So that's who our nucleus was. And that's where Fred Newcomb introduced us to the leaders of the family offices. So once again, we were stalled because we couldn't go to New York. We couldn't go any place in the world because the pandemic had hit in such a startling rate that we knew that until someone addressed the COVID-19 situation, then the world of economy as we knew it was going to be dramatically changed. And sure enough, that prognosis actually became true when the COVID-19 incidents rose to now where it's at over 5 million people dead around the world. So, but one of my acquisition companies was a stem cell company whose doctor happened to be in Wuhan, and where the pandemic started. So the Chinese government was just at a complete loss of what to do. So they asked him if he could see if stem cell would work. So they gave him 6 acute patients literally on their deathbeds. He eradicated the the COVID-19 from them. All 6 survived and were able to walk out. They brought another 25 more patients who were subacute, and he had the same effect. That's when we knew that stem cell research could, in fact, eradicate COVID-19. So we began our roadshow in regards to that fulfillment. Now, we had no idea that it was going to turn into what is now turned in with the different variants, the Delta. There's actually a worse variant that is coming out of Latin America called the Lambda, and it's killed 1 million people in Latin America. So we realize now that everything happens for a reason, and it's all about timing. Now we have the solution for COVID-19 eradication, and what we have now done is created a trifecta exchange in which we will launch our 2 stem cell coins. One's called the D-stem coin, and that's the first one that will be launched, and that would be the coin that is the repository for stem cell modules that will be housed at our stem cell bank.
What's the name of that coin again? What's the name of that coin again?
D-stem. It's not being traded. We haven't launched it yet. It'll be launched in the Dominican Republic next week.
Okay.
So what we have done with that coin is that because it is a repository for the stem cells housed in our stem cell bank, it's very similar to if you go to the hospital and you have a medical condition where they require blood for your medical treatment, they call a blood bank. In our case, they'll call the stem cell bank, and wherever you're at in your digital wallet, you have your treatment modality already housed in your digital wallet. So whatever disease it is, for the next 25 years, you and your family are covered with stem cell treatment modalities. And we do that because we'll have 125 stem cell centers around the world. We have a 200 country marketing agreement to place 125 centers, but we didn't feel like it was necessary to go to 200 countries because a lot of those countries people interface all the time. They go to where they can get help. So with the 125 stem cell clinics that we'll launch for the next 3 years, we'll be able to eradicate for the patients that come in the whatever variant or whatever COVID-19 that it presents in his body, and then that stem cell clinic will always be there available for cancer patients, for diabetes, whatever. But our goal right now is to deal with the world's worst pandemic in the last 500 years. And when we launch our new marketing campaign, we call World War III because we are in World War III. And so then the next coin that we'll launch, and all this will happen in the next 90 days. So the next coin will be the STEMI coin, which was our original coin, but we opted to make that our secondary coin because the secondary coin will be the payment fulfillment and process enablement coin for ancillary medical conditions. Because anytime you have a treatment, there's a part of that treatment that the insurance companies won't pay for. So the STEMI coin becomes that payment fulfillment and transaction enablement coin for the ancillary medical treatments. Then last but not least, for the end of our trifecta exchange, we're going to launch what's called a SPAC. This stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation. And this would be the first medical SPAC that emphasizes COVID-19. So we have 5 medical technology companies that either identify COVID-19 or will help to treat it. So we'll do that trifecta exchange, starting with the D-stem coin, which is a repository for the stem cells, and then followed by the payment fulfillment coin, which is a STEMI coin, and then the Mannix Medical SPAC will be our coin that it'll be actual stock, and it'll be on the AIMS, the Berlin, and the NASDAQ. We already have taken down the public shell in which to do the reverse takeover. So we're anticipating that we'll get to about a 25 billion market cap within the next 90 to 120 days. And we were already prepared to do that. We went to the DR to do the rollout so we could get both exposure. Now, just so you know, the D-stem coin will be a hybrid coin. So it will be both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we'll leave no money on the table. Our developer is some of the top in the world. And so we decided that with this particular coin, we would have a hybrid coin that could address both Ethereum and Bitcoin payments fulfillment. Then now, and going back to the medical SPAC, we also
let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So when you chose to use Bitcoin and Ethereum, because their transaction processing is kind of slow, um, kind of slow compared to Binance chain, where Binance chain now can process millions of transactions at a lower cost. Was that considered in using Binance chain as opposed to using Ethereum and Bitcoin?
No, at the first meetings in regards to the creating a hybrid coin that could accommodate, the majority of all of the coins that are out there. They either use it or a Bitcoin. That was the rationalization that we don't leave any money on the table. Now, since you brought up Binance, let me tell you what is happening now.
Yeah.
My developers are very influential in the digital currency arena. As you know, that there's been a lot of controversy dealing with pump and dumps. So one of the companies that we were going to be placed on the top exchanges just happens to be Binance. And we have now been offered the opportunity to be part of a new program that they have launched, that where you actually, and it does amazing things for your market cap, but more importantly, you're assigned a project specific valuation, so that Binance actually does a collateral value backing of your token. So that way they don't have to worry about pump and dump. There are residuals that will be paid out to the coin owners on a monthly basis. And this is something that Binance will guarantee for us.
Awesome.
So we are getting ready to, we were supposed to launch on the 17th, but we decided that in order to, because you get one opportunity to launch.
Yeah.
And either you're all in or you're standing on the side of the highway. And I've been there before. I don't make the same mistakes twice. So with the new, and Binance is doing this not just because they want to be able to, offer a better solution, but they understand that the institutions, the institutional investors in the countries now are looking for that type of, let's say, backing that makes sense. So
is your coin then, even though it's going to be able to be ODL, on-demand liquidity into Ethereum, and also, okay, so ODL, on-demand liquidity with Ethereum and Bitcoin. So are you guys considering bringing it over to the Binance blockchain and also liquidating it into Binance coin as well?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Binance coin will serve as the backing. I'm not allowed to talk about a lot of this stuff until the documents have been signed. But yeah, we've been given a kind of a exclusive opportunity, and it's part of Binance's value proposition. If you think about it, these guys are 3 years ahead of everyone else, And so what they have done is they realize that there's a huge problem, and that they need to be able to fix it, so that when the institutions fully come in, just like you indicated earlier in the conversation, that they won't have any hiccups, and they certainly won't have any drawbacks in moving forward in this direction. So we have, we have analyzed it as best as we can, and it just makes all the sense in the world. If you're going to be a coin that has an institutional value, and you got to bring something that's powerful to the table.
Yeah.
And us bringing in a coin that can eradicate COVID-19, and I'm not sure if you've seen our video, but we had a video produced what we did in Wuhan.
Okay.
So, we're at a point now where it's time to pull the trigger and let the world know that we, as men and women of renowned thinking capabilities, no matter what color we are,
yes, sir,
we can create that kind of a value proposition that will be around for, we're not interested in wham bam, thank you ma'am. We're interested in legacy wealth attainment, and that comes from in the same wealth attainment mechanism that the Rothschilds and the DuPonts and the Carnegies did for 500 years.
Let me ask you a question. Because one of the problems I'm running into in our communities, when it comes to community reinvestment, is, for example, let me go there for a second. So when you're talking about community reinvestment, I'm sure you heard of Allstate Insurance Company.
Sure.
So Allstate Insurance Company have a community reinvestment program where if you have an accident on the car, you don't pay your deductible. Okay. I don't even know how Geico survived. I don't know how I own a paint and body shop in Durham, North Carolina. I deal with all the major insurance companies. I don't know how USAA insurance company exists. When Geico has that community reinvestment component that no other company has. So now moving forward in the future, when it comes to social capital, okay, and dealing with the community, I think it's a great opportunity for a company to marry the community and give back value when it comes to community reinvestment in this space right here. Because example, last year PayPal made $17.7 billion, allowing people to send money from person to person. That's not PayPal's money. That's our money. Okay.
Correct.
It operates in the fintech financial technology of $24 billion industry. I'm talking to be 300 billion very soon. So Cash Out made $1 billion last year, sending money to people, sending money to and from each other on their phones and alike. And that's not their money, but because of fintech, they make the money. And I heard you say you had a transaction company a few minutes ago, so you should understand these numbers. In Kenya, Africa, they got the first telephone company ever called Safari.com has its cryptocurrency custody license. Never done before in the history of the world where a telephone company became a bank. And Safari.com has M-Pesa. M-Pesa is equivalent to Cash Out on a cell phone. 4 million people in Africa have bank accounts, but 10 million people in Kenya, Africa has M-Pesa on their phone. Only 2% of Kenya's population has raised above poverty after using that app because there is no community reinvestment by Kenyans. Now, where am I going? So what I see happening in our community is that we're not educating them the value of digital currency and wealth that can be created on these tokens. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna come straight back to you. Bitcoin was the sacrificial lamb that proved that the model works.
Right.
Okay. Bitcoin is the full Model T of all cars, whether you're driving a Tesla, whether you're driving a Ford, whether you're driving a Pinto, or whether you're driving a Bugatti. Bitcoin proved that a digital coin like yours, if the people understands the power of the coin and utility, that we can create our own Bitcoin. Brother, it's duplicatable. It's literally duplicatable. And when you release these coins, and when you look at inflation, when you build in a inflationary mechanism, okay, and that means you're burning some of the coins and you are making sure that the coins increase in value. Any coin that understands who Bitcoin was and Bitcoin did. And I'm gonna say the last part. The Wright brothers' first plane. Bitcoin represents the Wright brothers' first plane.
Absolutely.
Okay. And no longer when we go, you got 747s, you got Lear jets, okay, and we got helicopters all over the skies because Wright brothers proved it. No longer do you go to the airport and say you want to fly on a wing. You're gonna fly coach or first class because the Wright brothers proved the model. So Bitcoin has proved the model.
Right.
Okay? And Elon Musk is gonna also do some great things with Dogecoin because he understands this conversation. He understands the concept. That's why he's working with the developers of Dogecoin. And when he get the tokenomics right on it, Dogecoin can be something that the world gonna have to reckon with. So my question to you is, when it comes to helping an education component and a community reinvestment component, where you invest in the people who can take this company to places that only the Amazons and the Ubers and the Lyfts and the Airbnbs can think of because of hindsight and mindsight, has that been included in the formula?
Absolutely. And it's been included from a global perspective. And let me just touch on that real briefly, then I'll get right down to the 10-foot level of execution.
Okay.
So global perspective is that when you look at the world today, there's approximately 195 countries and other territories. And that's what represents our 200 country marketing agreement. Okay. Out of those countries, there's only about one and a half dozens that are considered to be a self marketing country that has all the components. In other words, they are a country that is self. It has all of the components. It has the medically fit working population. They have then the financial infrastructure to create working jobs and industries for that working fit population. And then they have renewable energy in which to clean up the air and the water and build sustainable housing. And then last but not least, they have the lifestyle fulfillment, which allows them to enjoy their new independence. And so our business model is prepared to build at least 75 to 100 companies and transform them from have not to have countries by providing the best of breed technology in each of those four arenas: medical, banking, energy, and lifestyle fulfillment. And then be able to provide the transactional enablement and processing capabilities with the coins that we have sequestered in each of those verticals. So the medical comes first. And because of the what's going on with the COVID-19, we're going to make sure that the stem cell clinics that we would build, maybe upstate New York, are going to be in Harlem, and they're going to be in places where we, people of color, may not be able to afford it. But I'm the chairman, and I have made a pledge that no one gets turned away from our stem cell clinics, whether you can pay for it or not.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing, because I see what the world is, and this is the deal. The people getting smarter, like network marketing, and social capital. When you build a social network of people that you're partnered with, okay, and they can see you giving back, okay, and it becomes a part. You make that community reinvestment portion, you make it seen on a global, national level. So what do you mean, Dixon? So I may not know how Michael Jordan is giving back. I may not know how much Dr. J is giving back. I may not know on a global scale or national scale how much LeBron James is giving back. But everybody know when there's a national basketball conference, okay, the championship is all over media.
Right.
It's publicized. People know whenever a national championship is being played. I think it's a great opportunity for a company to partner up with the community global. Like this Nike swish. When I see it, I know what it is. You feel me?
Exactly right.
When I see the Amazon Prime logo on the side of an Amazon Prime truck, I know who it is. I think it's an opportunity for a company to use community reinvestment and stamp their name, like M-Pesa has done in Africa. Okay.
Absolutely.
Every person, the technology is in the hands of the people. The people just don't know how to use the technology. And in Africa, with M-Pesa, it makes 63 billion shillings last year off of the Kenyans in Africa. But they don't know how to use the technology. So I think it's a great opportunity to invest in them and to educate them.
Absolutely.
And they become the partners of this company. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it has to be that way because it has to be shared by the people. Yeah. So by providing these life-saving technologies, people will know that we're not just about doing good for ourselves, but we're about doing good while doing good.
Yes, sir.
And if we can't show people by leading by out an example to make sure that anyone comes into our stem cell. Now, the folks that can, like right now, we have a campaign that will be launched with the family offices. those guys can afford to pay, $25,000, $40,000 for stem cell treatment.
Right.
However, the reality of it is that even if you have to pay $25,000 to $40,000 for stem cell treatment for whatever serious disease you have,
Yeah.
it pales in significance with the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you pay in conventional medicine. So we
That's
will
right.
be the new face of medicine over the next 25 years, and will
Well,
be affordable.
Yeah. My
and will
wife,
be. Go,
my
sorry.
wife had a situation where she got to have knee surgery. She works for Duke University. And she was applying to become a candidate for one of their clinical studies where they would inject stem cell taking fats from various portions of her body and injecting those stem cells into the knees so that those stem cells will actually reprogram themselves and rebuild those knees. But she didn't actually get to be a part of that study. So I'm very familiar with some of this information that you present. My wife worked for Duke, and she healthcare management. And she had
Let me
worked. Yeah,
let me share something with you on that topic.
yeah,
Most folks don't understand that when you look at stem cell treatment modality, the stem cell treatment's been around for 50 years, right?
mhm,
The issue here is that the first 25 plus years, stem cells were derived from either the bone marrow out your knees or from aborted fetuses. And so you already had a taboo with aborted fetuses, and you had a limited amount of productivity coming from stem cells coming from bone marrow. So the people like Dr. Shaw, who worked at the Cleveland Clinic for 23 years, bringing new technology to the table, and other people like the ones we have. One of our stem cell doctors was head of the Miami Four Seasons Hotel Stem Cell Clinic.
yeah,
Okay. They did $50 million in 1 year before the COVID-19 shut the Four Seasons down. When we reopen him, he's been offered a better hotel where he can generate $100 million in that one location. But that's
wow,
not my point is that the only cells that we will use, the stem cells that we use, come from, they're called mesenchymal cells. So these are the cells that propel the newborn baby into their mother's arm healthy, and they come from the placenta and the umbilical cord. They are the strongest stem cells in existence. So
yes,
if you had someone that needed treatment and they went to the conventional way, they may be able to get maybe 5,000 stem cells per module. Normally it takes about 3 modules to get the desired result, right? But with the mesenchymal cells, in that same module, you have about 25,000 to 50,000 stem cells. So what happens when you put 2 modules together, and at that level of potency, it gets the job done?
awesome.
And so that's why the mesenchymal cells are the only ones that we use. And Dr. Shaw has acquired and created a cultivation system that will allow us to be able to create millions of modules when you couldn't do it before. So we're here for the duration of not only this pandemic, but any future ones that will come. And obviously the obvious conventional diseases that have always plagued us over the last 34 years, including diabetes and cancer, especially for us. So what we're trying to do is to make sure that people understand that, and the reason why the family offices want to do it, because they know that with stem cell treatment, they can live additional 25 years to enjoy their wealth longer. But with us, we need to be able to be in dynasty trust, which I have a dynasty trust and I have a spendthrift trust that we're acquiring, so that we can make money without drawing attention that the folks who don't want us to make money. And that's why the dynasty trust and the spendthrift trust are the ones that the Rothschilds and the DuPonts have used for 500 years.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that knowledge. Yeah, this is very interesting, and I can't wait to hear more about it. So yeah, it really caught my attention. I already know somebody that I can introduce this to that was working with me on another project that I think he would be really interested in hearing more about this as well.
let me do this real quick, because I know it's been a while since we talked, but I've been looking forward to talking to you, because girlfriend really, said that, Keith, if you don't talk to anybody else today, you got to talk to this man, and I understand. But
was she right? Did I have a little bit of knowledge?
yeah, right. That's just right. I got to tell you, if I think I was a rarity with launching my first internet company in 1993, for you to be in the technology field that you were in way back then, you didn't find people doing that type of computer rationalization. That just didn't happen.
Nope.
So my hat's off to you. I want to leave you with this adage. We're going to make the medical work, because right now the world's attention is on medical salvation.
Yeah.
And, people, unfortunately, I collect data all the time. That's what I do day and night. I work 20 hours a day. My wife doesn't like it, but she knows that I'm a man with a mission and a purpose. Now, what folks don't know yet is that now I was in England 5 weeks ago, and I was there working with a gentleman that's as business partners with the Sheikh of Dubai, and the Sheikh of Dubai had given me a term sheet for $500 million. We had to buy 2 board seats on his Al Jaral Foundation, which we're in the process of doing once we get our launch together. But I said that because I received some information while I was there that the COVID-19 Delta and Delta Plus variants were going to be already had penetrated England, and that they would be shutting the country down on the 17th of this month. Now, day that I left England, the next day they quarantined my hotel.
Wow.
So I know what I'm talking about, my friend. I've been there on the battleground. And now that the COVID-19 has now penetrated in 49 of the 50 states that we reside in, called the United States of America, it's about to get even more crazy.
Yeah, the fire drill is over and the pandemic is on its way. So now most countries, now that the fire drill is open, it should be in readiness mode to deal with biological warfare.
Yes.
And this is just the beginning of what we're going to see. So I understand the mission. I hear the mission. I understand the mission, but most of the world don't understand the mission. We are at war. And
but the one thing that we have to understand, and I know you do, so I have no doubt, is that for the world to survive, those who have the money will always be the first to survive. Oh. They can implement the strategies, they can implement the technologies to make sure that their families are taken care of. Okay. I've had 2 of the Rothschilds come in and try to buy majority of my company, and I turned them down.
Wow.
Because I know that if we as a people realize that we have the ability to be on the ground floor of a legacy wealth attainment building model, we can do it ourselves.
Yeah, well, I tell people on my Zooms most nights that Microsoft, Bill Gates did not seek to become a billionaire. Bill Gates had an idea that solved the world's problem.
Amen.
Mike Bezos started with books, but he transcended, and his mission changed, and he solved the problem.
Amen.
And now Sears is closed down, Macy's closed down, and this is just beginning. Now with this new arsenal coming to America, companies like Amazon, who are displacing bodies with AI, where they're gonna have drones delivering packages and robots getting out of the drone, getting out of the man. Listen, bro, they got a drone that will fly a train car from here to Dubai unmanned.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And Amazon has the money, as well as they have the money to make sure that during the next pandemic, they don't have to depend on bodies to deliver their packages.
Amen.
Okay? They do robots and drones, because that robot is not going to get sick. They're going to be there. They're going to show up for work. They're never going to go home. They're not going to get COVID, and they're going to show up. So that's where we're going. And I'm glad to be here because I can see exactly where the company's going. Thank you, sir.
let me give you a sneak peek, and I'll let you go, my brother. I know if you have been like I have been on the phone all day, we haven't eaten dinner yet.
Okay.
When we roll into the next of our 4 verticals, remember we represent the largest verticals in the world, and the next vertical will be financial. Okay. Right now, we had to spend time on target because we have a pandemic that has already taken 5 million lives in 2.5 years. The next 5 million will happen with the next 6 to 9 months. So with that being said, then we want to be sure that we can make the money, be value-added partners with finance, and our people won't have to worry about pump and dump because they're going to get dividends because we're a project-centric coins.
Yeah.
Now, the next coins vertical that we go into would be our financial. We've already set the stage. So we'll have, and this is just you didn't hear me say this.
Okay.
We have a coin, we have a Euro coin for Africa.
Okay.
And it's called the AFRO,
Okay.
African Financial Restitution Organization.
Okay.
We also have and this came from a gentleman that I'm working with who runs the South Africa Trade Desk. And we partner on another coin that will come after the Afro, and that will be the pension coin. And you know, as I do, and I learned this from Fred Newcomb, pensions and pension plans are what has driven mutual funds and other legacy wealth attainment verticals.
Right.
So this pension coin will be a global coin. Now, but first we got to get people into a sustainable lifestyle mode, like we can survive the Delta, we can survive the Lambda. Once they think they're back in normal operating conditions, and the first thing they're going to see is that, man, I've lost 50% of my wealth. How can I
Wow. I lost you. What happened? Did we lose him?
Where'd he go?
I don't know. But this was getting good.
Isn't this amazing?
Man, this is
I
true.
told you, you
Yeah.
have to hear this. That's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to get the information to you.
Yeah.
The videos are done. I mean, everything is confirmed. People can, I mean, when you present, when this is presented,
Mhm.
everything that, you know, investors try to look at, or even because when they try to confirm information, everything is confirmed. And we're talking about renowned people working in this. They have banks backing them and everything.
This
So
guy, he got I like working with people with vision, and I would love,
yes,
and I hope he come back and I can let him in because he was ready to tap into something. I got a website.
yes,
I got a
he's,
website called learnwithearl.com.
oh my gosh.
And he need to go over there and watch that video on. I want to send him a video to talk about 401ks. And there's a video done. I teach it in my classes by 60 Minute News. We're talking about 401ks and pension plans and how people have lost their life using those instruments,
Exactly.
getting fees that have not been ever disclosed. So
But
everything
see
they
this,
talk.
yeah, but this component here
Yeah.
allows you to create wealth. That's
Yeah.
him. This is
Yeah.
him right now. Let me see what happens.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, what happened? We're still waiting for you. What happened?
my phone kicked off.
Oh, your phone clicked off. Okay, come on back in because we need to get into
5
the
minutes,
depth.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Come on back in.
Yeah, he said 5 minutes. Come on back in. Come on back in.
I'm trying to get back in right now.
All right.
Okay.
About 5 minutes. So I'll do it in about 5 minutes.
Okay. And, make sure. This right here is amazing. So get on back in. Mhm. He's coming back in.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, he's coming back in, and then if you will, the recommendations that you have,
Yeah.
to bring other people in, because I told him that I said he knows so many influential people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Awesome.
because see, he's trying to build wealth for us, so we'll have wealth for our families,
Yeah.
and then the other added benefit is your family members will be able to partake in the benefits of stem cell healing. Your wife,
Yeah.
for free.
Oh yeah.
For free.
Oh yeah. It's just truly amazing what God is doing, how all of these pieces of the puzzle are coming together.
Yes. Yeah, because the launch is the money, the investment has to be by the end of the week. So we can, when the launch is, you get 400% of what you put in. So, and he starts at a certain level, but
Yeah.
with the trust, see, he's trying to bring, other people in, like family members who cannot afford it, because they start at $5,000 and go up.
Wow.
So most people are paying $10,000 and up. They're paying that, but he's trying to bring in the family element. Okay. So this will continue to create wealth, because they're continuously doing the coin situation, and everything is just overwhelming because it's continuing to grow. And then that avenue with the trust has so many other benefits.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Everything he talked about really impresses me. Because there's this book called Bold, and it talks about how Kodak was supposed to be on every phone in America and abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And because they didn't have foresight, mindsight, Kodak got pushed out of the marketplace, just like just Kodak got pushed out. Welcome back, Mr. Keith. Can you hear me?
Keith, are you there?
Okay. All right, Mr. Keith, you can unmute yourself when you get a chance. So why are you trying to unmute? All right, Mr. Keith, so I brought you over to a website called learnwithtearl.com. And on this website, it says, welcome to our money education site. You was talking about finance, your finance corner a few minutes ago, the other vertical. And on this website, it talk about a lot of stuff that most people don't know. I put this site together over a year ago. A global recession is here, and people need a way to accumulate money fast to survive the global economic disaster that is taking place now. Stacking your Bitcoin or other coins is based on ecosystems now. Is a key. Watch the video below and get started now. Also, right here, this is you were talking about pension plans and 401ks a while ago. Well, this is a video. You can unmute yourself and make sure you can hear me, Mr. Keith. I'll get you to unmute. Turn your microphone.
Okay, I'm here now. Yeah, you can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now this video, put this in front of my people. I teach them fractional reserve banking and what fractional reserve banking is, so they'll know how you make dumb money. You put your money in the bank with your life, representative of your life, and you put in the banking system, government-controlled fiat currency, and which owned by the government. And when you take dumb money, all of my people already know this. We take dumb money out of the bank, where the bank is taking $100 and turning your $100 into $3,333, and it'll give you less than 1% a year. Okay, and we talk about ecosystems. So I tell my people every night, you got to be. The world is going to ecosystems, and when you become a part of an ecosystem, you're going to get the products and services of that ecosystem for a discount where everybody else is paying retail. And I'll give you an example of that in a minute. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Now, one of those examples, like right here, I'm gonna go to the example. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna go to the example. This video right here talks about the 401k disaster and how it was never created to be a long-term investment. But most people are introduced to that that instrument to leverage their family's wealth. Now, in this video right here, This is Wall Street's founders crying like babies. I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about Wall Street finance, where they woke up one morning and 60% of their 401k was gone. And in the video, there's a lobbyist in this video that tells people, they ask them, say, if the 401k is not a good instrument to invest in, why aren't you educating people about it? And he was saying, first of all, it's a person's choice. We live in a society where we make capitalist society, we make our own decisions. And then they talk about, well, if people are really getting hurt with the fees, see the fees in a 401k, okay, they don't have to be, they're not put out where we know there's unlimited fees that suck up the money in your 401k, and the lobbyists have lobbied so that those fees are never brought to the foreplace. And they say, why don't people lobby and change it? It's because some people don't want change. He says it in this video. And the people who don't want to change are the ones getting their pockets filled. Okay? Now, this is real stuff because it's always been there. It's always been that way. But those people are in for a windfall now because of companies like yours. Okay? Companies like yours. We're going to teach them about this, going from dumb money to smart money. That's our educator every night. Now let's go to ecosystem. Ecosystem, the world now is going to ecosystems. I'll give you a perfect example. Warren Buffett comes out with a coin, and it's a real estate coin. And that real estate coin is offered to you for $1 coin. In each coin, I buy $10,000 worth of coins, and each one of those coins is going to help Warren Buffett get his working capital that he needs from his ICO, initial coin offering. They're going to take 1 billion coins, which represents $1 billion, and Berkshire Hathaway is going to do what they've always done, but they're going to do it on a global scale.
Right.
Okay. And when they go out there and they acquire real estate and give the profits back to the coin holders, okay, well, then you may wake up one day and each one of those coins that you bought is no longer worth $1. They're worth 10,000 a piece.
Right.
Okay. Now let me do this real quick. Right here. So you acquired 10,000 coins. Okay, at $1 a piece. You wake up one morning because Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, on a global scale, we don't think any company that's not thinking global now.
Right.
They can think of local economy, they're going to be displaced. That's why I read this book called Bold, and Bold talks about how Kodak had been displaced because they didn't have mindsight and foresight. They were just another blockbuster. Kodak is another MySpace, okay? Or so Kodak was supposed to be on picture taping right on every phone around the world, globally, not local in America, okay? But it's a household name in America. Everybody know about Kodak. But now, when you look at that token, because Warren Buffett is known around the world. He said, if you don't make money while you sleep, you're working until you die. Each one of those tokens, when they hit, you got 10,000 tokens. Okay, 10,000 tokens, and now they're worth 10,000 a piece. Okay, now you got $100 million worth of value in your coins. Now, you and your wife decide to buy a piece of property in a retirement home in Hawaii. You don't have to pay a 30-year mortgage no more. You use 30 of your tokens for a $300,000 piece of property, and you still got 9,970 tokens left, brother.
Hey,
and you get that property at a discount. I mean, it's paid full and clear with no 30-year mortgage on it.
That's right.
You get the products and the services as a discount, where other Americans that's not a part of this ecosystem, like the stem cell research, if they have to go through conventional means, it's going to cost them their life.
Right.
But by being a member of this community and then get access to the products and services at a discount, it's just like this Warren Buffett token. Okay, I'm done.
So you're absolutely spot on, buddy. You are spot on.
Larry.
So what we do is we make it out, and the sad part about it is that some of us ain't never gonna get it. Okay, so we have to accept that reality. But or they may get it late, and by the time they get it, then there's going to be a whole contingent of us who have made it.
Yep,
that's correct.
I'll tell them every night on my website. when you go to a Super Bowl game. See, two things that people don't understand with the pandemic. When they got this digital economy and this digital finance in place, there's two things that they're working on globally. They're working on interoperability and CBDCs. Interoperability is the ability for blockchains to talk and communicate to each other. In America, in 2017, in 2017, out of 325 people in America, only 850 people filed taxes. Okay. Now, when they putting this digital economy together now during the pandemic, they're working on interoperability, where crypto analysis software will cross chains and track that crypto from its beginning point to its destination. And global municipalities will be able to tax those transactions, even though if they cross chains, they're going to be able to track that digital currency. So interoperability across blockchains and cross chains right now being put in place. And the last thing they're working on right now is CBDCs, central banks digital currencies. There was some legislation passed recently this year in America that says that now when stable coins are issued, like USDT, $24 billion stable coin marketplace, right? And they went before regulation, and USDT haven't did a audit to determine that for every USD coin that they issue, that they got it in escrow to be able to back that coin. Well, legislation came out about 9 months ago that says that when you issue a stable coin, that stable coin has to be regulated through the SEC now, because the SEC don't want one entity to control the stable coin market, a $24 billion marketplace. So now you got institutions, the government gonna control it. You're gonna have to get your proper license to issue a stable coin. And now central banks was given a green light. You said, what do you mean, Earl? What are you talking about? Interoperability is in place. The CBDCs are being put in place right now so that banks can now issue digital currency using stable coins. Now, I tell people, if you got one coin, if you got the STEMI coin, or if you got the other coins the other coins you were talking about, the Afro coin, or if you got Bitcoin, or if you got one Dogecoin, you made history, because you can't go to no bank right now and ask for $100 in Bitcoin and get $100 in Bitcoin. Well, within the next 24 to 36 months, any bank in the world that's not offering digital currency will not be a bank.
That's right.
They will fail to exist. They will fail, and you will never hear of all the information you heard on the internet. You never will hear anyone say that every bank in the world was fired on the day that Bitcoin was born. Now, every institution around the world with vision, foresight, and mindsight, like MicroStrategy and Tesla and Cash App and Grayscale Investments, they're hedging their wealth into Bitcoin. The real goal of the internet, because Bitcoin is resistant to inflation. So that's happening. So people, we got to educate people. They got to understand these ecosystems. We can get these products and services at a discount, and they're either going to be like you said a few minutes ago. Now, I remind my people that the Bible says that there will always be poor amongst us. We are not going to change the mindsets of everybody, okay? But the people that we're putting this information in front of today will be running at us tomorrow to become a part of the ecosystem. So thank you for your time and your effort. Now, I want you to make sure you do me a favor when you get a chance to go over here to this website, learnwithearl.com. And I want you to watch that video. Let me go back. That video, I'm gonna send you the link. I want you to watch that video on the 401ks with 60-minute news, okay? Because having these coins in these ecosystems is gonna give the people the foundation that they need to build wealth, and they can control their money instead of the banks controlling their money. So thank you. They become their own bank. So
there you go.
Correct. That's correct. That is
there you
correct.
Go. And what I'll do, kind sir, is I'll make sure that as we develop next week's strategy to start the execution of our DSTEM coin, which, by the way, is a stable coin. It is a DeFi coin. Okay. And we will have our own private DeFi exchange for other scenarios for loans and things of that nature. But right now is to get it out while we have the scalability that is now going to occur before the end of this month. So right now, our Rolodex was traditionally $1.25. We have 25 million these pre-listing coins
Okay.
at $1.25, and then when we go public, we would have another 35 million that would be at the $5. But with the offer that Binance is bringing to the table, those economics may change a little bit, but
Yeah.
they'll change for the better, because in other words, let's say Binance comes to the conclusion that, okay, for us to implement our strategy to make you guys a project-centric dividend producing coin, we need to start you out at, just say, 25 cents, right?
Right.
So that means then that is upon us then to make sure that everyone who got it for $1.25, that we would now, give them in essence 4 additional coins, so that they get to the matrix that Binance wants us to be at. So it's a win-win no matter how you look at it, because if you got more coins, you got bigger dividends coming in anyway.
Yeah.
So and we'll create that model, because that's going to be the model of medicine for the next 25 years. Now, the other thing that I want you to take a breath of is that when we do our rollout, we're doing it at 125 stem cell clinics around the world. We already have a 200 country marketing agreement.
Okay.
So when you look at our top earner doing, they're forecasting $100 million annually. But let's say they already proved they could do 50 million at the Four Seasons Hotel in Miami. So let's say that's the top of the heap, and then let's say the smallest ones and countries where people don't have a lot of money, but like I said, we're not going to turn people away because they can't afford. So maybe that's a $10 million stem cell clinic, right?
Right.
So when you combine the 125 stem cell clinics with a revenue generation model from 10 million to 50 million and greater, when you put them all together, you're looking at an ecosystem that exceeds $25 billion.
Wow.
So what happens is that not only are you dealing with the economics of the cryptocurrency, but you also now have captured a large chunk of the medical revenue that the insurance companies and the medical giants thought that was only exclusive to them. Guess
Wow.
what? This is a new world.
Hey, I need you to get that book called Bold. I need you to get that. You already got. I want you to just read that book. Even if you have to go to online and download it and listen to it with your ears, because I've been dying to meet a person like you.
Okay, well, I won't get it tonight.
When you get a chance, because everything you saying is on point. And I'm gonna say this last part, based on my cryptocurrency experience. I don't sell nothing. I got a 95% closing rate. And whenever somebody comes to my Zoom, this is the model, this is a relationship building. We're doing a relationship right now. We don't sell nothing. The goal is to show people why they need that coin. They need to know why they need that ecosystem. See, a person paid a light bill because they need the lights on. They pay their phone bill because they need to talk on their phone. They pay their car payment because they need to drive their car. You pay your water bill because you gotta have water. So if we position this, okay, as something that people need and show them why they need it, we don't have to sell nothing. People buy what they need, okay?
That's correct.
And since my friend, is not an if, it's when we do it, and we're going to do it now.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So I'm going to download the book. I got a couple more institutional investor calls coming up, but this is probably the best call I've had this month. So I just want to let you know that I've been looking for someone of your informational, but more importantly, time on target. The kind of stuff that you've been doing with your coding and all of that, infrastructure, which is, the ecosystem of the top 1,000 corporations
Yes, sir.
in America.
Yes, sir.
So while everyone else was getting the kudos and all that stuff by being the CEO and the CFO, the coders were the one that was making it happen. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
so
That's
my
right.
hat is off to you, my brother. My hat is off to you. So yeah, you need a pat on the back. That's for certain.
Let's go change the world one person at a time, one nation at a time.
Absolutely.
We on it. We on it, my brother.
Now, Earl,
Thank you.
when do
Yes.
you want me to get back with you? Because you want to make a presentation to that other gentleman. I don't know who that was.
As soon as possible.
Okay,
As soon as
so
possible, as
let's
soon as
set it up for, can we set it up for tomorrow since it's the beginning of the
Yes.
week and we're
Yeah,
looking
well,
at,
let me call him and tell him
Uh-huh.
his name is Fred. His name is Fred Bender. And Fred and I was working with a company not too long ago that was using patches, healing patches. Okay. Healing,
oh,
yeah. And they were supposed to be derived from stem cell. So he already have an idea about this type of research. So to go from where we were to what was presented tonight, I think we'll have a good person on target to work with us to help get the information.
absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. So you will get back with me. Do you want me to call you tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna call Fred tonight and see if I can get him. But sometime during the month, I will touch base with him. We can schedule another call so that we can get this information in front of him.
Okay,
that video
wonderful.
you
And
talking about,
we will
I
check
need that
out your
video.
website.
Yeah,
And
ma'am.
you need to text me your email. Remember,
Okay, I will.
I've been on you about that.
Okay. All right.
So I can get this information to you.
Okay, I'll get the information. I'll get you my email. It's dixonproducts@gmail.com. Dixon Products. That's my name. Dixon Products with an S @gmail.com.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, Renee, be sure to pass that on to me so I can get him the videos.
Yeah.
So what you're going to see is the video that one of my acquisition companies, they produced three videos. And
Mhm.
also we have our trifecta exchange and our DSTEM information as well. So that'll give you the empirical logic of our strategic development.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna send you one video with Michael Saylor. Because this video, based on what we want with this company, when you hear what's in this video, it's like taking, and you're into finances. This is what I tell people on my Zooms tonight. Michael Saylor broke it down in one video with MicroStrategy, and it's like taking a $250,000 class at Harvard University from this 1%er, what's up there with the Rothschilds, that you cannot pay for at Harvard. And he tells you exactly why he took $640 million of his company's money that he had sitting around for a rainy day, okay? And he deposited in Bitcoin. And then he turned around and put 1.2 billion in, and in 30 days, this man made $3 billion. He breaks down the microeconomics and the macroeconomics of why him and his company made that move. I really want you to see that video because we're on target with everything. And this man breaks the economics of it down in this video. I tell people when they come work with me on this platform, they can't come and see me until they watch that video because they need to know. And when he talk about hyperinflation, how hyperinflation went from 2% to 15%, and for the next 4 years, guys, over the next 4 years, hyperinflation will be at inflation will be at 15%. Over the next year, 75%. Everything that you paying a quarter for today can cost you $1. That's real.
Yeah.
And
That's
this
right.
is real. This is
That's
real.
true.
And he said in that video that his company used to invest their money while we're doing traditional investments. He was investing his money into treasuries, and he was making 5% on his treasury notes. And now because of hyperinflation, he said with his software company, when the pandemic hit, he said our problem was that we had a lot of cash sitting around. He said, but when the pandemic hit, all of our people were working from home. We had no overhead. He said, but we sold more software than we have in the history of my 28 subsidiaries. And he said, the problem is we got so much cash coming in, but it's not worth it. He said, having your money in cash is like a melting iceberg. And him and for his investors, they had to find a place to put it.
There you go.
So I want you to watch that video because that video is what give people an entry door to even come in front of me.
Okay, so let me
Right.
do this. I will watch that video tonight. I'll send the commercials over to you. Maybe we can get together tomorrow and we can start planning out our rollout agenda. And I want to be able to bring one of my developers on a call with you, so we can kind of make sure that we're in sync where how real money thinks.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Renee.
Blessings. You're welcome.
Renee, I'll get you the video to forward to him because I want him to see that video.
Okay, all right. I'm sending you the email right now. I'm doing a test to make sure you get my email.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Cruz.
gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. God bless.
All right, God bless.
Renee, I'll call you a little bit later, my dear.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to you soon, dear.
Blessings,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Amen. Amen.
I'm in it now. All right, let's see. Renee, let me see if I can close this thing down.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
all right. And I'll check the email.
okay. You said it's products, PRODUCTS?
Yeah, products, PRODUCTS, Dixon Products at yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com.
I mean, yeah,
okay?
yeah, Dixon Products at yahoo.com.
Send it right now. I'm sending a test email.
All right, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll call you back and verify that I got it.
Okay, thank you so much. It's
Thank you.
coming from billionaire now 327 at gmail.com.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna make sure I got it. Let's see. Yeah, you sending an email to a different platform. I'll be with you in 1 second. Let me see. Let me check yours, Renee.
Okay, hold on.
Renee, I don't see it yet. Let me check my spam. Where did it come from?
It's coming from billionaire now 327 at gmail.com.
All right, let me check it.
Hold on. I haven't sent it. I'm
Okay.
sending it now.
Okay.